Jrue Holiday is now a Boston Celtic in a pretty big trade, I would say. Let's bring up what the trade is. The trade was Jrue Holiday going to the Celtics, and the Celtics giving up guard Malcolm Brogdan, center Robert Williams, and also 2 first-round picks. The first-round pick that they got in this offseason, which is a top 4 protected pick from Golden State, and they also give up a 2029 first-round unprotected pick. All that for Jrue Holiday. The Blazers, in that Dame trade, are making massive moves, and the Blazers are actually reportedly planning on trading away or seeing if there's interest in Malcolm Brogdan to get even more assets back from that entire Dame sphere that they had. What was it? I think last week. So I want to know: do you think the Celtics made the right move in trading for Jrue Holiday?
Mm-hmm. First, I'll say I think the Blazers made an amazing haul here. When it's all considered, and if they trade Malcolm Brogdan, which they might, because they have a lot of guards, right? So they may give him up too, and they'll probably get quite a bit for him. So they've made an amazing haul here, and they should be a good team down the road, a very good team down the road, I would think, if they're lucky on the draft. The draft is a lottery these days, so it's hard to know where you might wind up. But if they probably next year, then probably won't be that great, right? So they may, and they get the Celtics pick that in 24, right?
The 4th pick is Golden State's.
Okay.
The 2029 pick is theirs.
I see. Okay. So I think they gave up a lot to get Jrue Holiday, okay? Because I think he's a good player, and I think that the Celtics may have panicked a little bit when they saw Damian Lillard go to the Bucks, and what they're going to have, and how hard it's been for them to beat the Bucks, and how well the Bucks did last year, even though they screwed up in the playoffs. I think the Celtics might have panicked a little bit, felt they needed to get a all-star guard, and they picked up Jrue Holiday, who I think is a very good player. I just think they gave up an awful lot for him, and the other thing is they really only control him for 1 year. Right, he has a player option for next year, and then if he does really well, he'll be out on the market again. He won't. These guys have no loyalty to a team anymore, so they give up a lot for a one year rental. Really, that's how I look at it.
I will say this though. First off, Derek White, now the projected depth chart has Derek White now being the backup. He was announced the starting point guard early in the NBA offseason, but now he's relegated back to being behind Jaylen Brown as the backup shooting guard, and then Jrue Holiday picks up that starting point guard role. All they did was get a better version, or at least a better offensive version of Marcus Smart. So last season, Jrue Holiday averaged 19 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists on basically 48% shooting from the floor and 38% from 3. Marcus Smart last year, 11 points a game, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 41.5% from the floor, and 33% from 3. So they basically got a better version, however, an older version, a 4-year older version of Marcus Smart. And
how about the defensive skills, though? I don't think Jrue Holiday is as good a defensive player as Marcus Smart. Right?
Well, I would definitely say. However, here's the thing, though. Like, Jrue Holiday has 5 all-defensive teams.
Oh, it does.
Marcus Smart has 3.
Okay.
But Marcus Smart did win a Defensive Player of the Year award. So he has that over Jrue Holiday. But they just added a more dynamic piece, I think, because Marcus Smart was he definitely had his spurts where he could shoot the lights out of the ball from 3. But now Jrue Holiday is a more consistent version of that. He also could play great defense. However, the big thing here is the Celtics had a problem with turnovers. That they had a problem handling the ball, a.k.a. Jaylen Brown had 8 turnovers in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Heat. Jrue Holiday actually has more turnovers per possession than Marcus Smart did. So there is that aspect of it where, yes, you are getting a better shooter and a more I would say an all-around better player with the assists and the rebounds. However, you are getting a guy who per possession does give up the ball more. And that's once again, you have a player like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum who have had turnover issues in the past. Jaylen Brown, we saw him in the playoffs last season, and then 2 seasons ago, we saw Jason Tatum have triple-digit turnovers in the playoffs, which is
that's something the Celtics have to work on, is fewer turnovers for everybody.
Right.
Not just Jrue Holiday, but also Tatum and Brown. They both had issues with that last year, I agree.
Yeah, so While I think this is a good move, at least for the aspect of you're replacing what you gave up to the Grizzlies. By the way, that should have been Malcolm Brogdan instead of Marcus Smart, but then Malcolm Brogdan had that issue with his elbow, and then was mad at the Celtics up until about now because he's gone. But they literally just got a better offensive piece, a better offensive version of Marcus Smart.
How about the front court, though? I mean, they gave up Williams.
That's big. I would say that's big. You're probably your best big man defensive. I would say your best defensive player. No, because Marcus Smart was there. Your second best defensive player. He's now gone, and now you have a very old Al Horford, and then Kristaps Porzingis as your two big men, and then you got like Luke Cornett, and I forgot you have the depth chart there. Who's the backup? Was it power forward? I think it's supposed to be H. Yeah, I've never seen. I barely even seen him.
I don't even know who he is.
Wait, can I say it real quick? So what I'm talking about is Hauser, Sam Hauser.
Okay.
I think he's the only other piece that had like a decent amount of playing time in the playoffs. So really, you went from having a very deep lineup.
He's a small forward.
Oh, that's interesting. You're now like last season when I looked at the Celtics, while the Milwaukee Bucks had the best record, you take a look down the Celtics lineup, they had phenomenal depth. Now you're giving up a decent amount of that depth, and we just saw Malcolm Brogdan, who was Sixth Man of the Year. He's now going he also shot 44% from three. You're giving him up a great sixth man of the year, phenomenal piece. I thought he maybe should have started at the point guard position early, before last season, but he didn't, of course. And then you decided to replace him with, at the time, was Derek White. You replaced Marcus Smart with Derek White, and now he's going to be, back up to Jaylen Brown, and now you replace Jrue Holiday in that position. You're giving up a lot.
Maybe they're thinking there's a line to another big man before they're done here trading, right? Maybe there's somebody else out there they're looking at that they know they're going to get.
The problem is contracts, though. Like the big thing's contracts. We have Derek White, who's up for an extension. He's up for like a 3-year, $88 million extension. You have to determine whether or not you're going to extend him. Then you also got to determine whether or not you're going to sign Jrue Holiday on for a long-term deal. Then you also have the opportunity this upcoming summer to sign Jason Tatum to his Supermax deal. So you have a lot of pieces. If I had to make a prediction right now before the season even started, Derek White's going to be gone. Next season, Derek White won't be a Boston Celtic. I think they're going to extend Jrue Holiday. They're going to give Jason Tatum that Supermax, and then they're going to rock with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Jrue Holiday. You already have Kristaps Porzingis signed to a number of years. And then Al Horford, I think he's a huge question mark just because of his age.
Yeah.
So I don't hate this move because you're getting a better fit to what Mazzulla was going for. He wasn't a big defensive guy. Ime Udoka was a huge defensive guy. Played defense 100% of the time. Now, we had Mazzulla bring in that 3-point heavy shooting lineup. You get a better version of that, a better fit to that with Jrue Holiday. Although I don't know, I would have preferred to keep Brogdan, but Brogdan was pissed at the Celtics over the potential trade that actually should have gone through with when he was traded to potentially the Grizzlies. So instead it was Marcus Smart. I don't know.
I think they need to try to find another big guy.
Yeah.
Before the season starts.
You need depth. That's the problem because Kristaps Porzingis recently has been dealing with injuries since his ACL. Al Horford, he's aging. You don't want to play a guy who's 37 years old. You want to play him 60-plus games. You want to keep him fresh. We saw him in the playoffs. He was horrible shooting. He 0 for 7, 0 for 5. He couldn't shoot the three ball at all.
He's probably tired.
And Robert Williams, you got rid of him, but he also had a problem. I think he played, since he came into the league, I think he played 51% of the games. He barely even played. However, when he did play, he was a phenomenal defensive force.
I think they kind of figured that out, though. He had a knee injury. He had a knee issue, right?
Yeah.
And his weight was more, and he slimmed down. He slimmed down. He was slimmer than he was the prior year. And last year, once he got in there, he was fine. He didn't have any injury. He played the latter part of the last season. He didn't have any issues.
Well, even when you look at the playoffs against the Warriors, like that playoff run, he was dealing with it. He was playing through injury. So I'm not denying his toughness. However, when you miss basically half the season each year, that's a little bit shocking. And the fact that you were able to get a talent like Jrue Holiday when you barely play in the NBA and add him as a crucial piece of that trade, clearly the Blazers see something, and then again, the Blazers needed big men. They needed wing defenders, and Robert Williams gives you that big man piece. Add him with what was it? It didn't. I forgot the trade. Did Nurkic go there, or was Nurkic traded?
Nurkic went to the Suns. Yeah.
Ayton, that's who it is. DeAndre Ayton went to the Blazers.
Yeah.
Now you have another piece there. Ayton's good
I think
offensively.
that's a very complimentary to get Williams to go there with Ayton, because Ayton's the offensive guy.
Ayton's
Williams
a 20
the
and 10
defensive
guy.
guy.
And then, Williams gets you the 10 rebounds and 4 blocks a game or something like that. So that is a great compliment. Hey, the Blazers, they're looking at the future right now. The Bucks and the Celtics right now, they're in win now mode. The Blazers are like, wait 3-4 years, and then we'll be, top 4 seed of the Western Conference and make that run. That's what I think, at least.
I think
you got
you're right.
Shaedon Sharpe, you got Scoot Henderson. They got a young Robert Williams is young. You have Ayton, who's still a 20 and 10 guy. You got pieces there. I think the Blazers are going to be a fun watch in the coming years to see just how they develop some of their young players.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.